All right, everybody. Make sure to get some stretches and prepare yourselves for our very lengthy and serious discussion. Hello, we're from the group
Flattest
Flattest 4,
4.
and this is our submission for Reasoning and Advocacy's first assignment by
Miss Raja.
We will be reacting to a podcast by NST Online titled Online Safety Act and Child Groomers. I'm Adya Iman, the one in charge. To my right is,
Yours truly, Elise.
and to my left is,
Your one and only Duha Sophia. So, Ed and Elise, you know what? I really like this topic because it's such a widespread issue. Due to the subject of the assignment, we can spread awareness and even we can earn more information. So, I really like this topic today. I agree with you, Duha. From my understanding, the podcast talks about legal actions taken by the government to prevent child grooming and the obstacles that come with it. The conversation between Ms. Hazrin and Professor Silva Kumar highlights the role of legal actions that was implemented by the government, otherwise known as the Online Safety Act. It focuses on laws, policies, and preventative measures aimed at safeguarding children.
okay, Elise, you mentioned child grooming, but do we really know what it means? Child grooming is the tactic used by abusers to sexually exploit children by establishing a personal connection with them. Wherever minors are present, unfortunately, the predators are there too. So it's safe to say that child grooming can occur at just about anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
However, today we would like to specifically focus on online child grooming.
So, just like what Ed has said, the government, specifically Communication Minister Fahmi Fazil, has mentioned that social media platforms in Malaysia may face penalties or harsh punishment if they fail to remove all the inappropriate contents on the social media. Because in the news media social licensing requirements, it tends to be very strict and people have to follow that because the communication minister Fahmi Fazil stated that this issue they will bring it to the parliament in the next year because it has already outlined in the Online Safety Act which is ONSA. Yeah. I like to bring light to one of the key points here. These discussed in the podcast at 24 minutes and 49 seconds when Mrs. Hazrin brought up rising concern of underage children operating online accounts, particularly on platforms or services that may not have age restrictions or proper parental controls. Professor Silva Kumar suggested that parents be penalized for neglecting supervision over children's online activities. I agree with this point because the responsibility is also partially on the parents since child safety cannot fully be ensured by entirely depending on provided safety measures.
Yeah. I agree with your point. It's better to prevent the issue from occurring in the first place before it's too late, and parents play a key role in that.
Yeah, I would like to add at 9 minutes and 18 seconds, Professor Sivakuma also mentioned that, also suggested that media social companies should investing in hiring teams to monitor the contents distributed. Personally, I agree with this idea.
If I may add, I believe manpower, when it comes to an issue like this, it really, really is important, especially in the day and age where a lot of companies, social media companies, they tend to heavily depend and rely on AI to do their work for them, which lessens the manpower basically.
Yeah.
However, while I think AI is able to assist in detecting and filtering through inappropriate content and suspicious behavior efficiently, I might add. However, it's not guaranteed to work 100% of the time because of the way people are constantly learning how to bypass these rules that will be overlooked by the AI basically.
Yeah, so basically, like, it's how potential monsters deliver their intention to do bad things by using those code words that they created. or even we call it as modern lingos to communicate and to be connected with the other child groomers as well. So they use this kind of like I said, code words to keep hidden their identity, so people will not figure it out that they are doing bad things. Other people like our normal people, we will not understand their code words because it's very weird and very like very delicious. Like I can see it's they use cheese pizza, which is as the initial for child pornography. So if we read it like that, we will not notice that it is about the child grooming. So yeah, that's how they tends to do to keep hidden. Yeah.
Also, despite their true ages, predators would inhibit like the latest slangs to appeal to the younger generations. This causes potential victims to be under the assumption that the predators are close in age, thus encouraging them to form a bond.
Yeah. So I would like to add on what Professor Sivakumar has said at 30 minutes and 37 seconds, which is about the double standard. Okay, so this double standard things, it's between the real world and cyberspace. And he mentioned that people might assume that the child grooming would not happen if they are in the cyberspace um because like in cyberspace they're like it's not like visible, even the child would not know that they are like they were like being the victim of the child groomers, but in the real life, in the real world, we can see it. Maybe the way they talk, the way they move, the way they look at the child, right? So that's why the double standard should not be happen in here. Like if it's a victim, it's we have to like really care about this. Yeah, we should not like say that the cyberspace is not as worrisome as like the real world. No, it's just the same. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I would argue that cyberspace is equally, if not more dangerous than cases that occur in the real world, because while in the real world, these cases can be noticeable and obvious to others, whereas in the cyberspace, it tends to be more hidden and
Yeah.
private.
I agree. So it's in common nature that predators prefer being anonymous as it can clearly benefit them in luring and trapping the victims.
Yes.
Um, Adding on, I don't think it's wise to undermine the issue, especially as parents, just because you're under the impression that it's only in the cyberspace and it's not really happening in the real world, so it probably doesn't have that much of an impact.
Yeah.
But like adding on to Elise's point, basically, I agree because in the real world, you can observe these things happening as a third party. You can notice some signs. However, in cyberspace, it's more hidden
Yeah.
and private. So you would have a harder time finding out whether a child is getting sexually abused or not. And in most cases, because being groomed, the predators take advantage and manipulate the child into thinking their relationship is what should be considered normal when it's not. So, in most cases of child grooming, the children don't even know that it's bad. So, they don't really reach out. And that's why it's so hard to basically know, like,
Yeah.
if a child is getting sexually exploited or not.
Yeah.
So, just because you cannot see the abuse doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yes, true.
True.
That's true.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've mainly agreed with the points and suggestions provided by Professor Selva Kumar. But what are your personal thoughts and opinions about this issue?
So I would like to start first.
Okay.
From my point of view, I think that child grooming has become one of the heavy and big reasons in the destruction of young children who are growing up in the in the age of technology. Okay. So this has caused a loss of their self-confidence, focus in class. So this issues tends to be like the reason this new generation would grow up as a like less quality new generation, because like this new generation is what the elders depends on, like we are the new generation. So with this kind of issue, it will like disturb the victims emotionally and mentally. So with this, it disturb their development. They disturb their the way they wanted to explore the world. They disturb everything. It's disturbing. These child groomers are disturbing. Yeah. So I really would like to say that we, all of us, doesn't matter who we are, we have to prevent this to happen. Prevent this to to happen to other generation, because as I stated, the reasons it's very bad. So yeah, we have to do like our best to help the victims out.
Well, in my opinion, child grooming is a valid concern in today's digital age as children increasingly engage with the internet. They are exposed to both beneficial and harmful content. While online platforms can provide education, entertainment, and social opportunities, they also come with risks such as cyberbullying, exploitation, and grooming. I believe it is crucial for parents to be actively involved in their children's digital lives and setting boundaries and providing guidance on how to navigate the internet safely.
Those are some great points, you guys. So I firmly believe that with the advancement of technology these days, the government has a lot of potential to further implement unavoidable preventions against child sexual exploitation online. Although I hate to say this, but I also believe that no matter the effort we, parents, and the government, anyone puts into trying to prevent this issue, we cannot completely eradicate it. We can only reduce it and stop it from being easily accessible, is how I would put it. Because at the end of the day, the predators will always be there. They'll always be lurking in the shadows, waiting for their opportunity to strike. So it's also important to educate young children so that they're able to recognize certain patterns and behavior exhibited by strangers online, even in real life. In any case, they should know what behavior is normal and what isn't. So if anything were to ever occur, they wouldn't hesitate to reach out for help because they already know that it's wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that pretty much sums up our podcast reaction.
Yes.
Let's thank each other for being here today and sharing
My
our thoughts and
pleasure.
opinions. It was a pleasure getting to work on this project together.
Yeah.
Me
And of
too.
course,
Guys.
let's not forget to thank Miss
Miss
Raja
Raja.
for her wonderful guidance and assistance for these past 8 weeks.
Yeah.
That's all from us. Goodbye. And remember,
Stop
Child grooming. Bye.